Hey everybody, this is Jim at SP500chart.com. It is December 13th, 2012, a little after 5 o'clock. Before we get looking at the chart, I just need to remind you, as always, that the website and this video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in the video is intended to be used as investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own research. And you need to make investment decisions that are suitable for your personal financial situation. I'm not a licensed financial professional, just a guy that draws lines on charts. Okay, got a couple changes to make. The first change is, where's my erase tool? I'm going to erase this line. It may or may not be the correct line. At this point, I've identified a new channel. So I think that will probably be the telling thing, at least for the short and intermediate, well, let's say short term. So let's take this line, which was the one I drew yesterday. Let's call that a potential neckline on a potential inverted head and shoulders pattern. It's not one yet because it's not above this line. But if it gets above this line, then this market looks like it wants to go a fairly good bit higher. And since this line is almost horizontal, we can actually get into the how much higher. That if we can, maybe consolidate here under between 1400, call it, actually, to tell you the truth, between 1392. Between the 1300s and 1437, 38, we can consolidate here, pick up some buyers, build a little base, then break out over that. Then this pattern would have a projected target of 1533. If we then want to take a look back, and we did this yesterday as well, there's also a possibility that we could be dealing with an even larger inverted head and shoulder. And often these things nest, okay? Where you get a little inverted head and shoulders down here at the bottom, a slightly larger one that forms the head, and then an even larger one that's the big pattern. It's possible, guys, that we could be looking at an even larger pattern. And here's the deal. If this one does consolidate, then break over this line, then that tells us we should be getting over this. And if we get over this, then we have some more calculating to do. Because that would give us a projected target, depending, of course, when that breakout might occur. And again, I say might. I want to stress that. Let's say we have a roughly symmetrical pattern. Yeah, let's just put this line here. If we have there we go again. Isn't it funny how yesterday, matter of fact, I'm going to make this line a bolder color. Isn't it funny how yesterday I mentioned that I would expect there to be some really strong resistance up around 15 in the 1585, 1586 area, getting up close to 1600. And if this is an inverted head and shoulders pattern, and again, if it is, we're only about maybe 2/3 of the way there at this point in time. So I'm not going to call it that yet, because it could be a number of other things other than an inverted head and shoulders pattern. But I'm looking at this little inverted head and shoulders, this potential medium-sized inverted head and shoulders, and then what could be an even larger pattern. And if this larger pattern does pan out, it likely would not do so until the end of January 2013 or even early February 2013, at which point we would be looking for if it does break out, we would be looking for a move to challenge the all-time highs in the S&P. And just to remind you of what that would look like, there you go. So if we get up there, I think it would be foolish to just say, yeah, we're going to get up there and plow through this resistance. I just don't think that would happen. I think people are looking at this chart, and I think people are going to say, if we get up there to where we were the last two times we came crashing down, then I think smart money says cash it in at that point. But if we then were to move, and this is thinking years ahead, wouldn't it be funny if this was a continuation pattern and not a top, to where we ended up with left shoulder, head, right shoulder, then we break out over 1600, and then the market heads way up. Is that impossible? No, it's not impossible. Is it likely? I don't know. It's certainly something, though, that I think people should be aware of. But if we get up here and then start to slide back down, let's say we have another year and a half or so or 2 or 3 years of strong selling pressure that were to ensue, then you can see we would be setting up one of these patterns that we've seen over and over again in smaller scale. But I don't know that we've seen in the S&P anything quite like this. If you go back and you look at a yearly, the yearly chart doesn't do as much good in the S&P. Only takes us back to the early 60s. But you can see that we just don't have a lot to go on. The closest thing we have is what happened in the 65 to 1980 range, where we had another series of sell-offs. So the question would be, are we doing this again only to start a new leg up? Wouldn't that be a kick in the head to bears? But I do think we will. I think the bears will be happy at some point in time in the future if this market does get up to the 1580, 1585, even the 1600 level, because I think there will be some strong resistance up there. And I think we are likely to start another round of strong selling pressure if we get up there. So guys, I just want to remind you, in the meantime, I think the best thing to do, instead of trying to prognosticate on really long range stuff, as fun as it is to try, we had been looking at this little green channel. Now I've broadened to a new set of channel lines, and excuse me, and it looks like today we may have come close, and there's signs that this could be that we're not going to get much lower than this. So let's see going forward if this line holds. It may get tested, it may get moved a little bit. We could see a little bit more selling down a bit. But yesterday I mentioned that I would expect, and I haven't moved this line, I said that we may get some support at this level right here around 1418, 1417, and it looks sort of like that may be taking place. We would need another day of confirmation tomorrow, and you can see that late in the day, if you look at this on a 5-minute chart, and you say we've had a downward trend that started about midday yesterday, if you think this is a significant little set of lines right here, we got a nice candle late in the day breaking out over this top line, and then it looks like we're wanting to back test. If that happens, then this could be very near the lows, or we could get a little bit lower if that back test were to come later in the day tomorrow. So guys, right now it looks like the market may be wanting to reverse here and come back up and potentially start heading back up for a few days. And if it stays within this channel, then you can see where I've got these lines drawn, we could rally for a week plus before we reach some of these other resistance lines other than this neckline right here. So my feeling is that we probably will in a counter resistance here, but if this is an inverted head and shoulders pattern, this neckline would get taken out. Then we would have a move up to likely back test this line. Let's make it like that. Probably find some resistance there, and we would expect resistance there because that's where we are looking for a potentially larger head and shoulders neckline to possibly form. Again, this is very speculative, so let me back up again. Looking at things short term, let's just keep an eye on this broader channel that we just drew the lines on today. So if this breaks, then I think we're probably going to come back down and test the that 1393, 1392 level. But if this holds, then we could wiggle around for a while, staying above this line, and then eventually take this line out, setting up what would be a move for, what did we say? A move for the low to mid. Yeah, probably 15. Oh, shoot. I can't remember where I drew the line. We'll do it if we get there. But it's over 1,500, probably about 1,520, something like that. So, guys, thanks for watching the video. Let's keep an eye on that channel. Let's see what the market gives us tomorrow. Take care.